G'day and welcome to another episode of KiwiCarLife, and this is the most I had two different kids with two different deadbeat dads that are no longer in the picture out of wedlock teen mum car that I have ever bought. I thought my Accord Euro R was bad. The previous owner of that used the boot as a literal skip bin, but when you combine that level of indifference to cleanliness with two unplanned toddlers, well, you end up with this. And the first thing you're no doubt asking is, why on earth would I want a car like this? And well, to be honest, I'm asking myself the same question now that I bought it, but from looking at the photos on the auction page, it actually didn't look half bad, frankly. I knew the WOF and registration were due soon, it would need a headlight polish, and probably a new rear bumper, but other than that, it stated no mechanical issues. 188,000 Ks was a little on the higher side, but I thought with it all fixed up, I could probably still sell it for around 5 grand. So I set myself a budget of 3 grand, and believe it or not, I got it.
Fortunately, this one was local too, so me and Angel popped down to the local turner's yard and picked it up. And to my surprise, it actually drove pretty well. The battery was healthy, it tracked straight, there were no weird noises, so despite the horrendously filthy interior and very damaged exterior, it looked like this one would turn out alright. We put some fuel in it, and then the first job was to clean out the interior a bit before giving it to my mechanic Jack for a while in a fitness. I think you'd agree I'd be a terrible friend to give Jack this car in its current state, so I set to work clearing out a metric ton of scrap found inside.
Why is that? Oh! Why is that in there?
The speed!
I then proceeded to use the correct method to quickly and thoroughly clean the dashboard by dousing it all in citrus cleaner. And if you're a car groomer, you'll want to look away now because I then used a house washing brush to scrub the biohazard of a dashboard down.
Made light work of this though, look at that. Was the screen always doing that?
No.
It's the least methodical cleaning job I've ever seen in my life.
But with everything clean enough, I handed Jack the keys and sent him on his way to get the car legal again.
And unsurprisingly, it failed. The tyres and brakes were in great shape and there wasn't a speck of rust underneath, which is excellent. However, it failed for a split CV boot. So I'll get that part ordered and send it back in next week to have that fixed. But while we wait for that, let's get this thing all cleaned up properly this time.
While in Auckland picking up the Polo GTI you saw a few months ago, I also got a used rear bumper without a massive dent in it. Putting it on was quite easy with just a few nuts and bolts here and there, and now the back end looks heaps better. And then it was time to tackle the disgusting carpet. I used a wet vac to thoroughly douse the carpet in soap and then scrubbed all of the filth and stains out of it. This was absolutely one of the worst cars I've ever cleaned, and it still baffles me that people can be so tolerant to having a car this revolting inside. But alas, after wet vacuuming the interior and scrubbing all of the interior plastics, it was finally complete. Time to move on to the exterior. I water blasted the whole outside, clearing out heaps of grit from all the gaps and trims, and then brought it home to finish soaping down the whole car. With the exterior now clean, I could finally give it back to Jack to get the one of fitness. He installed a new CV boot, refinished the headlights, changed the oil and filter, and slapped a new WOF sticker on. Annoyingly, right after I thought I had it finished, it began making a clattering noise under load at low RPM, which turned out to be the idler pulley on the accessory belt. I once again popped down to pick apart and found one that seemed in better shape, and after installing it, the Mazda was finally complete. Despite its single mum roots, this 2008 Mazda Axela has once again received the KiwiCarLife treatment, getting a full interior and exterior detail. No more dents and scratches all over the outside, and not a speck of mould, plastic packets or energy drinks and stains anywhere to be seen inside. It's now genuinely a lovely place to sit. It's comfortable and fresh feeling. Mechanically, it's perfect with the 2-litre engine running with new oil, and the exterior with the sporty body kit and spoiler doesn't look half bad either. All it needs now is another teen mum to buy it and undo all of my hard work.
Driving what was previously a teen mum's Mazda Axela, but now it is clean, it is tidy, and I must admit, I have actually been pleasantly surprised. Kind of like with that Mazda Axela, the import Mazda 6, one of the first cars that I rebuilt, and you can check out that video by clicking up here. Mazda's product is actually a lot better than I expected, to be honest. Traditionally, I would have said if you want a Japanese sedan, you go for a Legacy 3.R, fantastic car, or a Honda Accord Euro. The Camry, it's like driving wallpaper paste. Anything from Nissan, Mitsubishi, Suzuki is just awful. But Mazda, that Atenza I would say was 90% as good as an Accord Euro or Legacy. This, I would say, is 90% as good as any Civic or Corolla, to be honest. It's not quite as well built, but you can tell that Mazda's put a little bit more effort into making this just a bit more sporty. Steering is vague, transmission is okay, it does what you ask with the pedals at least, and the gears aren't too long, which is nice. The engine is dull, but it makes pretty decent power actually. 2 litre, foot down. Yeah, we're accelerating. And the handling. While I don't really know what the front end is doing because of the electric power steering compared with that Atenza's hydraulic power steering, which was great, it is still at heart a pretty decent hatchback. And on piano casters like what this one has for wheels, it is rather comfortable as well. Would I buy one? No. It's alright, but it's not gonna blow me away. I prefer to have something that's a bit more special. This is about as common as a Sparrow, but it is actually a pretty decent drive. And if, unlike me, you just want an A to B car that'll be reliable, that'll be pretty fuel efficient, that looks kind of cool, and is at least a little bit better to drive than most of the competition, the mighty Axela, it's not a bad car, man. And you can see why Mazda's slogan is zoom zoom, because even their sort of boggo normal cars, they just drive well, you know? They do drive very good. So there we are. Haul this thing through the corner on its ditch finder tyres. The Mazda Axela is complete. There's going to be a slew of car rebuild videos on the way very shortly that you can look forward to, so make sure to stay tuned for them. And if you want to see some of the blackbird, before I was rudely interrupted by wildlife, if you'd like to see some of the other car rebuilds that I've already done, then click on the links popping up right about now. The formula is the same for all of the videos. It's generally just me shouting at a car until I get it fixed and cleaned, and then I take it for a thrash. And I will look forward to seeing you again next time.